Asante Sana Warden, that means thank you in Swahili, and here in Harambe we like to say Twende, which means let's go. Jumbo everyone, my name is Lauren. I'm going to be your safari guide out here on the Harambe Wildlife Reserve for the next 2 weeks. Hope that's all right with everyone. Make sure we are staying completely seated at all times, keeping those hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the truck. We are entering the home of real animals. We are just visiting, so we want to be respectful out here. Please do not call out to the animals or make too many loud noises. That will scare them away from the truck, and we want to be able to see as many as we possibly can while we are here. Now, our first stop is the Little Ituri Forest, and here the animals usually blend in pretty well with all of the trees and bushes. Now, over there on the right-hand side, just behind that bush, is an okapi. Now, a lot of people think that okapi are related to zebras because of those stripes on their legs, but they're actually a close relative of the giraffe. They have a long, prehensile tongue like a giraffe. That just means they can use their tongue to grab their food like leaves off of trees and bushes. And they share the same skull structure as a giraffe, including those little ossicones at the top of their heads. But just like the okapi, most of the animals here in the forest are going to be more blue or dull in color. That's really going to help them blend in and camouflage well, just in case there are any predators lurking nearby. Like, speaking of camouflaging, down here on the left-hand side, there is a black rhino all the way back against this mud wall here on the left. Now, the black rhino is the smaller of the rhino species in Africa. They can weigh up to 3,000 pounds. And yes, that is the smaller species. Black rhinos live in isolation out here in the forest. Whereas the other type of rhino in Africa, the white rhino, they live in groups out on the Savannah. So we're going to see if we can spot a few of those just a little bit further ahead. Coming up here in just a second on the left-hand side are a few different types of forest antelope. The darker ones with the horns are the bongos. They are the largest species of antelope to live here in the forest. And the lighter colored ones are the greater kudu. They're a tall species of antelope found in several ecosystems where that light brown color helps them camouflage really well. But friends, if you can believe it has already been a wild 3 days out here on the Harambe Reserve. And we are moving out of the Little Ituri Forest and headed on over to the Safi River region, which is where the aquatic animals tend to hang out, either in or around the water. There are 2 sides to the river, so no worries if it's a little hard to see on the right. We've got another chance coming up shortly on the left. Now, way back in that right-hand corner, if you're kind of tall, you might be able to see that Nile hippopotamus all the way back there in the right-hand corner. I cannot fully stop, but maybe we'll be able to see another one in just a moment. The hippos are some of the largest animals here in our reserve. They can weigh up to 5,500 pounds. Also down on the right are some pink-backed pelicans. They get that name from that slight pink color on the top of their back. They get a little brighter during their mating season. But there is another Nile hippopotamus here on the left-hand side. All the way in the corner here. Those hippos will spend the majority of their day in the water, just like this that you see here, with those nostrils above the surface, but they can be completely submerged underneath the water for up to 8 minutes at a time. If you'd like another chance to see some hippos, you can always head over to the Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail back in the village. There is an underwater viewing area that might help you catch a good look at some hippos hanging out underneath the water. On the left-hand side, as you cross the bridge here, you might be able to see a few Nile crocodiles. Now, they can be as long as a giraffe is tall, which is 16 to 20 feet in length. Their average weight is 500 pounds, and they have super strong jaws that can crush the bones of their prey. But those jaws can also be super delicate. Mama crocodile will hold their younglings in their jaws both before and after they have hatched, in order to protect them from any nearby predators. That is until they grow up to be the predators themselves. But in just a few moments, we're going to head down to the Savannah, which is the largest area here on the reserve. And as we're making our way down there, coming up on the right-hand side is a large tree that kind of looks like it's upside down with those roots in the air. This is called a baobab tree. It remains leafless for 9 months out of the year in order to conserve water. and it can store thousands of gallons of water inside that large chunk. Animals on the savannah come to the baobab tree as a water source, which is how it was nicknamed the Tree of Life. And if that looked a little familiar to you, you probably saw that Tree of Life in full bloom at the front of Disney's Animal Kingdom Park approximately 5 days ago. That is a baobab tree. We are coming down on the savannah here, and right away on the right-hand side, looks like we are going to see one of the 2 brand new baby zebra foals that were just born out here on the reserve. This baby zebra is a Hartman's Mountain zebra. And a lot of people ask what color stripes a zebra has. Well, it depends on the color of their nose. So you might be able to see that that zebra has black nose, and that means that it is black with white stripes. But we'll see if we can find any more of the group or dazzle of Hartman's Mountain zebras as we're coming around here. On the right-hand side with these really large horns, these are the Ankoli cattle, also known as the Watusi cattle. That is the name of the first people group to domesticate them. Those horns on the top of their heads look really heavy, but they're actually mostly hollow, except for a honeycomb structure. Their blood will pump up into their horns and filter through the honeycomb, and that cools it down before recirculating back through the body. So kind of like built-in air conditioning, which could be really helpful on a hot day. On the left-hand side, lying down in the middle here, are some African painted dogs. They are slightly smaller than hyenas, but they are very similar. Some of the most successful hunters on the savannah, they work as a team and they run their prey out to exhaustion. That actually gives them a 90% success rate while they are out hunting. Are some sable antelope kind of hiding behind this bush here with the really long antlers. They use those to ward off their predators, and they do not back down from a challenge. So they are the emblem of our reserve for that resiliency. Then coming up here on the right-hand side, we are going to see a few Maasai giraffes. Now, we know that these are Maasai giraffe because their pattern is irregular and jagged. That is unique to each giraffe, like a human fingerprint. They are the tallest animals on the savannah, reaching that height of 16 to 20 feet. Also the tallest babies, born at 6 feet tall, which means a baby giraffe is taller than I will ever be in my whole life. Now, does anyone know what a group of giraffe are called? They are a tower of giraffe. Now, just like their relative the okapi, giraffe have that long, prehensile tongue that they will use to grab leaves off of trees and bushes. That tongue can be up to 18 inches long. So if you were a fully grown adult, that is about the size from your elbow all the way down the rest of your forearm. Super handy in reaching those leaves off the tallest trees. And here on the right-hand side is a herd of wildebeest. Wildebeest are going to make a great migration across the savannah every year of up to 1,000 miles. Now, for my expert animal spotters, if you look all the way up here on the left-hand side, just beyond those bushes, there's an eland, another type of antelope hanging out up there. Eland are the largest species of antelope that live out on the savannah. They can leap up to 8 feet in the air. But again, wildebeest will make that mass migration every single year, and they will travel in large, densely packed herds of up to 1.5 million. Only other species known to travel in a group that large is humans. Few members of the Tower of Giraffe just back here. Now, giraffe eat for about 20 hours a day, but they only need to sleep for about 30 minutes. And they will sleep standing up and in even shorter amounts of time to help protect themselves from any nearby predators. Now, as we move over to this side of the savannah, there are quite a few trees knocked down. That could be for various reasons, but it could mean that there's a larger animal, such as an elephant, in the area. They like to knock down trees to get those leaves they cannot reach themselves off the top. So we'll see if we can find the culprit up here in just a moment. Banjos are the largest monkey species. They're known for that red and blue color that gets a little more vibrant when they get excited. But here is an African elephant on the left-hand side. Now we know this is an African elephant because we are in Africa. No, just kidding. The shape of those ears look like the continent of Africa. That is the tell. And when it gets really hot outside, elephants will flap those large ears to help cool them down. That motion can actually lower their body temperature up to 15 degrees, which I like to call ear conditioning. When the male elephants are fully grown, they tend to go off on their own. But sometimes those solitary males will join up together and create their own all-male herd, which is commonly referred to as a bachelor herd. And this is the moment where some of you just realized this was a water ride. Now, it's a little tricky to see, but there is another elephant hiding just behind those trees over there. But elephants are super social animals. They create really strong emotional bonds with the other members of their herd. As we come out of the water and into our 10th day here on the Harambe Reserve, on the left-hand side is a group or flamboyance of the greater flamingo. And they are known for that fabulous pink color. Well, maybe they're born with it, but maybe it's beta-carotene, which is the name of the chemical found in their diet of shrimp. Coming up here on the left, there are a few cheetahs hanging out up here. There's one sitting pretty for us right in the middle here. Cheetahs are the fastest land animal. They go from 0 to 60 miles an hour in under 3 seconds. But they can only sustain that speed for a short distance, about the length of 2 football fields. Cheetahs have a black teardrop shape underneath their eyes. It looks like a pair of sunglasses. That's going to help reflect the glare of the sun off of their eyes so that they can see while they are out hunting during the day. Now, we are going to come all the way around to this formation of Kobe rocks, and we don't know for sure if there's anyone hanging out up here, but we'll keep our eyes peeled. See if we can find anyone lying around. And up there out the edge of the rock, taking a little cat nap, that is the female lion all the way down here. Now, this is pretty typical behavior for lions. They like to rest for 16 to 20 hours of the day. At night, the females of the pride, oh, there's the male coming around here. The females of the pride are the ones that go out to do the hunting. They are just a little bit better at it, so that is their responsibility for the pride. And here in the Magani Glen is where our warden keeps their post. So you might want one of those beehive fences we talked about earlier. That's going to be the yellow box attached to the fence post, which will help keep those elephants safe and far away from the area. But the more adorable thing you might notice is that our warden has taken in a few Nigerian dwarf goats. Everyone say, "Aww." This species is very social and playful. They produce a milk that is rich in protein and super sweet. It can be made into cheese and other foods, so it is highly valuable for our warden.